What is going on, everybody? Figured we would come on. We would take a short flight as a tutorial to the CRJ-700 series. Full flight tutorial. Many understand just how quirky the CRJ is and can be, so far different than Boeing and Airbus. And we've taken our time to learn it. I'm sure this won't be as precise as real world captains will probably set it up and go to the extent, but this is what we've learned and researched, and I thought I would share it with you all. Appreciate you all for joining. It's always a pleasure. And this will be a full flight walkthrough, so we'll turn the music far down. If you learned something from the video, be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to talk through things. We're going to talk through just systems and how things work, where things are placement-wise. We're not going to go through failures, any of that stuff. There may be an unclick or two that we'll undo along the way. It will be a full flight. We will be looking at the river visual on approach into Reagan International. So welcome on board. Once again, it's always our pleasure to have you. We fly mainly live a lot, but I wanted to come on, do this video because I understand a lot of people and even my friends have been struggling, and I just want to help them out. And so here you are. Here's a full flight tutorial, CRJ flight from Philadelphia International down to Reagan International runway 19 through Clipper 2 Clipper as transition. We have a direct, a vector, then a direct out of here. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and set up what the plan is. So first thing that you want to do is come down, and you can see it reads as what it tells you. So those are in place, and we will open that guy. That's removed. We'll connect the ground power unit. Alright, so that's the aircraft systems. Just open up some doors there. You can check it by also stepping outside. There's the ground power car pulling up on the right side of the aircraft. And so with that, we could go ahead and DC service and let that come on. Master battery comes on as well. That's available and in use. There we go. So there's ground power. We'll hold off on everything else just for a second. We'll acknowledge those two. We'll come downstairs here, get that guy out of the way. Stab trim, mock trim. So, you know, when we talk about things being different, placed different, that's what we mean. So down here, kind of all these buttons sort of function. There's the your yaw damper, and that's important. And we will revisit that. But for right now, we're looking for the IRS alignment to nav. And now that we have that out the way, we can step back over here and continue our loading. So 44, we're looking at a full cargo on this flight of 11.6. And so we'll load one more 100 there and a few more here to equate. I'll take 11.5, and with the fuel, we're looking at 8.1. We'll go 8.6. Cool. All right, and that works. And we're looking good there. So we'll set it in the sim. You can see things load. It's giving us all our speeds. We'll go flap 8 on the departures, dry. There's our knots on departure. And we can set those over here in a second, which we will do. So if we go set all, you can see all those variables change. There we go. All right, so you can set snow, ice, all those sort of things. All right, so back to the aircraft. Maintenance, we could just go ahead and check if we wanted certain things, but just for the sake of this video, we'll move through it. And the options for the, you know, different settings here. So we'll set our pounds instead of kilograms, our units, temperature units, single Q, dual Q, IRS align time. We have instant. Oftentimes we put just quick in there. So back to the checklist and perf page there. We'll leave that up. So now we'll step on downstairs and we will start to get our flight plan in. But before we do that, I did want to fire up our APU. And to do that, now that we have ground power, APU generator is on. There's the air cooling systems. So we need to open the flap unit for the APU first, and we can verify door closed, door open. You can see it change there. And now we'll come upstairs and we'll start the APU. All right. Quite simple. We left isolation valve alone, which is immediately above it. We didn't touch it. And again, the aircraft will sort of tell you once you move through the steps. Emergency lights, we'll fire those on as well. And we'll get a beacon out of it. We got an APU firing up here. And you can verify that the APU is indeed firing up. 77, 78, on up to 100%. It checks out. Alright, so you'll see this light illuminate here. That'll let us know that the APU is indeed a go. And in the meantime, what we'll do is we can now also come off of our DC ground power unit. Now that we're running on APU power, there's the illumination there. We can also get air conditioning rolling as well now that we have the APU to go. Alright, our hydraulics are here on the front panel. You need to hit them down with the, I found, mouse trim wheel in the middle there. Works best. So we'll come downstairs. You guys pretty much know default FMC style, so that should be quite simple. We're looking at Philadelphia International on over to DCA. We're looking at a short flight level. I'm thinking 1-4 on this. It's such a short flight. As a matter of fact, it's not here on this page. We are Blue Streak 22 will be on this departure runway. It's looking to be 09 to the right side. So we'll plug that in the runway there. We'll go over to, now we're ready for our perf. We can execute the last page. And all we can do now, look how simple this is go back to the other perf page. We will hit copy perf data into FMS. And there it is. Just quite beautiful. We also marked a flight level of 140 on this trip. We'll execute that. We can check our weights. We'll look at VNAV setup for the climb and also for the cruise and for landing. So back to the perf, and let's see, let's check it. There's cruise, and there's our descent. You can also change that to Mach 7.8 if we want it, but for now we'll hold off. So 09 right, We'll take the Philadelphia 2, as always. So what that is we don't have a SID standard instrument departure for this route from SimBrief. It says direct to the Delta Quebec Oscar VOR. And so what that means is usually ATC would want you to fly the general sort of base standard instrument departure for that airport. So here it's indicated, oftentimes they're indicated by the airport ICAO code with a number behind it, meaning the general airport SID, which is oftentimes just a vector of the runway heading until they give you vectors to turn to the first waypoint. So that's what we'll do. You'll be here to see it. No worries there. So we have that plugged in. We'll go to the arrival. We'll get that plugged in. We're looking at the Clipper 2. Savoy is the next, so we won't select that because that's not the transition that SimBrief gave us. And we're also looking at RNAV runway 19. We'll look at Fergie. I've been to DCA quite often. Fergie helps coming into it, so we'll use Fergie. And there we go. We'll execute that. So we'll look at flight plan. We'll go to the next page, and there's our vector. We'll enter Delta Quebec Oscar VOR. We'll go down to Baines. We'll Sudoy. Great. All right, and I think we are all set. Clipper will be the next. So now you would come to your legs page, go to your next, and remove any discontinuities that you may find in your flight plan. And there you are, all set. So just to recap, you have aligned your IRSs. You started out in your EFB. Let's talk about that with perf page, and you filled it out according to SimBrief. You set it in the simulator, and then you set it in the FMS when you got to that point. And also as it relates to setting your V speeds when you also get to that point. For me, this aircraft simulates a lot of similarities to Boeing in my mind, and so I sort of just switch it. Now, yes, there are those intricacies where it's quite different than Boeing, as we just talked about with the APU and certain generator switches. All right, so in order for us to get on out of here, we're pretty much set. Let's go ahead. We are at 10,000. We'll bug up our master control panel deck here. And what that means is we'll set everything and get it ready. So if the VR rotate is 128, it looks like. And we'll take off 25 over that at 150. Looks good. The next thing we'll go direct, so we'll fly runway heading out of here, and then we'll make our first turnout to the VOR. And so we'll look at the aircraft. We are on APU power, so we can actually close the passenger door. It has announcements
Captain, the cabin is secure.
on
All
board.
passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf
Crown
of
card is removed, closed, and stairs are up. Wheel chocks are still in place. That's fine. And we are all set to go, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a few more things that we need to do here real quick. Is set our altimeter, if you have that. So right now it's telling me that it's 3018. And so to do that, everything that reads here that you can change. So there's our altimeter information. And to do that, first we'll move our yoke out the way a bit. And it's always the baro, right? The barometric setting. So by that, we are looking for 3018. We'll set 3018 as according. Here's how you increase and decrease the range. Is over here, so you can see we are 10, 40, 80, 160 miles wide, and there you have it. So you have terrain settings here. You have different traffic settings there. All right. Nav source, if you wanted to change that. Decision height, minimum decision altitude, all that information. You can increase the lighting over here. You have wipers that work. All right, we'll scroll out so you can see it there. We'll get some floor lighting on. This is your nose wheel steering, so before you start moving rudders, you need to engage that guy. But we'll push back, so we'll leave it locked as is for the moment. If you like what you're hearing and you're learning quite a bit, be sure to tell a friend or family or whomever, and someone interested in buying in and or flying the CRJ to also check out the channel. Be sure to leave a like and drop a subscribe as well. All right, so we are pretty much set to go. If we were on with air traffic control right now, there's a few things that we could do. We are on standby right now, so we could go squawk by setting all this information here, or simply on your X-Pilot dash. On your X-Pilot dash, you could also, so there's the ident right there, but you could also click ident on the X-Pilot window. And so let's keep it going. We are set for push. APU is on, doors are closed up. Let's just make sure that close, and then place. Cool. And we'll remove the wheel chocks. Parking brake is set, and we'll start the push. Over our right wing is what we're essentially looking for on this, so I know we'll jack it up, but we'll correct it. And we'll also start the chrono. Alright, we'll get some, so the lights are on. We'll hold off for the strobes. We'll get logo. We'll get the wing inspection light. APU is a go. We don't need anti-ice, do we? I guess we might need some anti-ice for right now. We'll get pilot heat on in a second after engine start, and we'll get window heat to go low. And there we are. So, alright, in order to start the engines, alright, we're talking engine start specific right here. So he's pushing us back. There's our brakes, our release. We'll step outside, make sure he's doing what he needs to do. We need to go over the right wing. Alright, we will go ahead and then we'll request that he can give us a stop. So the only thing that we'll do is we'll get our boost pumps on for both. And the next thing that we can do is just start the right engine. Alright, start anyone first as far as I'm concerned. I haven't heard it any different, or I don't really try it any differently. So now we come down to the N2. We want to check it. We'll stop the push here. Thank you, sir. Just about 20, so we'll set brakes, and we want to go ahead and engage this guy to the idle position, and we'll let that engine stabilize. And there you have it. That's the right engine started. Quick recap. We've gone over power up, ground power comes on. We've loaded the aircraft, and now we're pushing back and starting the right engine, keeping an eye on the ITT as well as the N2, and checking the status on the ECAM display. There's a notification. Power. Switching over.
During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the
Alright,
evacuation of the
we have a good right engine, and we'll start the left.
And here. In case of an extreme emergency landing, you will be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind you that you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Same thing. We'll check for 20. And we'll set it to the idle position from the ident that you set in the calibration, as we talked about. Calibration here in our last video. Alright. Alright, there looks to be 2 good engines. There's mock trim, stab trim, and we'll also need yaw damper. We forgot to set our trim, so 7.2 has been typical, and so it's currently at 6, and we need to engage that to 7.2 for departure. And we also need to go flap 8, 2 notches down. We'll get our hydraulics, and everything clears out. We are all set for departure. The engines are what's powering the aircraft at this time. So we can go back to our anti-ice, and we can also disconnect the APU. And you're all set. Just like that, everything is automatic, so lights has gone out and extinguished themselves. You have your pitot heat, which we want to fire up there, and we already set window heat. And so there's our dome lighting. We'll get our taxi lights to come on. And we're all set. Passenger signs. There we go. Well, we'll keep it auto. Excellent. Alright. We are all set. We said we would keep it a short trip. That's what we plan to do. And we can come off with the park and brake. And we are set to roll. Nose wheel steering. There we go. It's now armed. Better steering there. Sounds like an aircraft around us. Alright, looks like we are looking for 09 right for departure. We've started our chrono. It's been 7 minutes so far since the push guy showed up. And we'll keep our V-speed references up for now, but we don't need them because they're right there on our display unit. Left Alt and click brings these up, these screens here. Or right Alt and click, sorry. Correction. Right Alt and click. And there's your brand new CRJ, everybody. 700ER inbound to DCA. Getting set for tomorrow's live stream. And so here you have it. We are looking for the right side. I see a Spirit Airlines coming in there. So we'll cross runways. He must have just landed. Or we could take it down, but I feel like I want to cross and get on the taxiway. It would be quicker. So we're looking for the right side. All right, we need to rock and roll. I see an aircraft coming in, so it will be a no delay on the departure here. Well, and we'll bug it again. All right, there we go. So we'll go heading mode and throttles 40. It's toggle power from calibrating your device. We're looking for 120 plus. There we go. And we're up. Gear comes up. Flaps start to come up. Get the trim. Bring the nose down just a bit. And we'll go to our climb power. And we are departing out of Philadelphia. Alright, we can pretty much route around and go direct to our next waypoint here. So we'll fly a heading. So we'll go autopilot engage. We'll go vertical speed. Not that high. We need to control that a little bit better. Alright, looking good there. So we engage the heading mode. We're flying a heading. We can set our speed accordingly. That's fine. Flap should be all the way up. Gears up indicated. And we'll set the speed after we reach cruise. So we're looking at 10,000. We need a full, I think we said 4,000. We're gonna cruise at this. And let's go ahead and go direct to our next waypoint. Alright, and we'll go nav mode instead of heading now. Alright, there we go. So we're climbing at 240. Selected nav mode, the aircraft will start to make certain turns to catch up with what's programmed in the FMC. We're moving at 240, 250 on the speed, so you just can adjust your throttle as according. And there you have it. We are up. Everything checks out. As we reach 18,000, we'll come out of, or we won't reach 18,000 on this flight. So if we did, you could just come down here and press that to go standard 299 or 2 on the altimeter. All right, there you go. We'll clear that. Not sure, it's not letting us do that again. However, we can always punch it in where we have it. And there you go. So what we'll do is we'll increase the speed quite a bit for the arrival. The aircraft does grab a top of descent. As you can see, we are pretty much over the clouds here. We'll increase the range a bit just so we can see what's coming up. Let's get the Just setting things here. Looking good. We're up to 14,000. Nose wheel steering, come off. Alt's cap means we're reaching our intended altitude. There's Baines, there's top of descent on around for 3,000 to Fergie. And we'll bring throttles back just to reach cruise. We'll watch it stabilize. We'll also indicate that on our speed heading. And there we go. Excellent. So we're looking at 12,000 by Trish, which is fine. What do we have next? Alright, so it has us breaking off from the river from the right side instead of coming in from the south. We'll be breaking off from the north, which is fine. We'll get our legs page up here. Headed to our first waypoint there. There's the next two immediately following. And we can see that we need to be way lower by that point though. So maybe, which actually is about fine, because we'll have 6 miles, 10 miles, 18, just about miles or so to get lower from 10,000. So that's fine. We see we're about to overspeed. So we'll bring those throttles back just a bit. And it's a beautiful day to fly. So many aircraft in the air today. I guess I definitely added to it. Alright, we're 14,000. Forgot about our good old landing lights. Flick those guys out. Passenger signs. And as we always do, strobes needed to be on. And as we always do, why not go to a couple tunes here? Just why we can. So the only things to watch for are what we just pointed out, the throttle. Once you set your ident, so now we're getting lower than what we identified, right? And so all we'll do is we'll just push the throttles up just a bit. But you have such a far margin. Look at where we are now, but we're over 14,000, so it doesn't matter really. Air traffic control may vector you around, but hey, you know, you're in a CRJ. So we'll slowly catch up to that. We'll bring the range on in some. Um, Flight deck door. Just spoilers to armed. We'll have to try that out next landing. We'll turn our floor lights off. And we'll have our landing speeds. We'll set it as we get closer. Alright, that's where we are. We're making that turn on down. Yeah, so we need to be 9,000. You see top of descent. We'll bug our heading. So hey, it's good practice. Alright, we are coming up to it. We'll go ahead and pull up our chart. Let's go ahead and descend down to 12,000 it's calling for. And so we'll start with the altitude. We'll call it for 12,000. Even, no, sorry, not VNAV. There we go. And we'll power back just a bit, and you can see the vertical descent display indicator. So at Baltimore, we need to be 250 knots, 10,000 feet. What we just did there was turn off the APU generator, and we turned off the the fuel valve for the APU. So we have any ice on at the moment, coming through clouds, less than 10 out there. We'll maintain it. Let's go down to 10,000. We'll set that vertical speed. There it is, BW at 10,000. We'll need to come down to 250 on our speed. Alright, coming in at 10,000. We'll need to dial speed back to 250, 260. So many of you asked for a tutorial, and I hope that this has walked you through some of the basic ways to just hop in the airplane and set her up, get her going. So there's our anti-ice switches, PAX, Argo, air conditioning units, pilot heat, window heat, scroll wheel with the mouse. We'll engage them. You got the passenger signs and the landing lights here. So it sort of, makes sense in its own way. Just being a small yet different aircraft. I do like the way things look in the cockpit, the way that it works. All the buttons work. Functionality of it is it's really really neat. So I hope that you were able to take something away from this video. I know that there's quite a bit of videos out there featuring setting up this aircraft and flying this aircraft, but wanted to give you something that sort of stuck from a different perspective, and hope that it helps someone. All right. Appreciate you all for hanging in with us. Right about now, we are going to go ahead and continue our descent on down. So there's our vector out. We could go direct mags right now. We'll stay flying the arrival since this is DCA. Although we're offline, we should be alright. There's some ground coming in. Okay, we are at 10,000. I see Fergie. And so we're going to go ahead and start to continue our arrival. Look at 9,400. And we'll do the same thing and step on down. Vertical speed, make sure it lights up. Let you know it's a go. 1.3, 1.4. So we've gotten far too slow. Having the throttles pulled back and we leveled out, but that's alright. Took my eye off it, so that's a good lesson to to catch. Yeah, we need to go down. Not sure why that happened. Yeah, we'll try and set the speed around 210, 215 for now. Why are we going up? Yeah, really weird there. Not sure. And we're going back up. Alright, we need to be... Yeah, let's keep that speed. It's fine for now. Alright, here we go. Let's drop down. Let's look for 3,000 of Fergie. Alright, so at Fergie will be 3,000. We'll follow the river. We'll step down to 1,800. Grays 1,500 by Setok. Cool. There's Grays and Setok. Let's go down a little faster. And we'll pull our power back. Alright, let's make the turn to Fergie. So we'll go direct. We'll enter Fergie. We'll hit execute. Some reason still gives us some weird stuff. So we'll hit it again. Fergie definitely shouldn't be that way. So we'll try legs page. We'll double click on Fergie. And we'll see what that does for us. Alright, cool. There's still some things that, yeah. Alright, we should be inbound, able to stop the turn here. Alright, we'll take over. We'll follow the river. Alright. Our airplane will stay 3,000 for now. And we'll follow the river, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we'll start to configure. We'll go flat one. Alright, so we'll follow the river on in, friends. This is your typical DCA approach. Flaps are set 1. Try and keep her as level as we can. And perhaps we need to slow down. Alright, follow the river. We'll start a slow descent down. Pull some power back. We'll go flap 2 or 8. Alright, we are following the river on in. We'll hug it to the right side. We'll let that speed dial on back. We will get our landing lights back on. Passenger signs back on. Frames are taking a hurting.
Sync rate.
All right, looking good. Stay hugging it. Look for the second bridge. Let's get on over here some. I want to be over that building there. Right? Not that building. Alright, there is the runway in sight. Flaps are down, indicating
Rate. 500. Pull up. 400.
start to turn. Straighten out.
200. Sync rate. 100. Sync rate. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Nice. And we are down. No reverses yet, I don't think. Yeah, there's no reverses yet. We'll go ahead and exit the runway.
Please remain until the aircraft will come to a dock.
Excellent, excellent. We could have had a better landing coming in on it, but hey. This is Drew Swesky. If you liked the video, be sure to tap on the like, hit the sub. We'll be flying this aircraft live tomorrow. Headed to our home state, Ohio. And hope to see you all there. So thanks for clicking in. If in fact you learned something from how we were able to successfully take a full flight with this bird, then please by all means leave it a like. Let's help the channel get out there. Leave it a subscribe as well. So always our pleasure. Chieftain Pilot's gonna go ahead and sign out, you all, and you'll catch us live tomorrow. There's another CRJ. Alright, let's jump back inside. We'll get the parking brake set. Sweet. And all we will have to do is if we had DC power, which we could go do that right now if we want it in the avatar, but we won't just because of time. And then you would just turn the engines off. Alright, all your lights will also come off. And so we'll get those guys off. 2, 3, and 4. Emergency lights, passenger signs, hydraulic pumps will come off. Pitot heat, window heat, anti-ice, of course. And we could also fire up our APU by opening the fuel pump again, wait a few seconds, and engage the start to the APU. Alright, you'll see it light up. You do such. Master caution just to let us know there's some changes going on with the power to the aircraft. We'll get the rest of the lights off. Oh, yeah, let's go off to that. Sweet. And off. Okay. APU is a go. Get our generator on. That'll help. You'll see it light up in a second as it reaches. There you go. And now we'll go ahead and turn the engines off. So we'll get that there. We'll bring that guy down. Engine shutting off. We'll get the mock trim, stab trim, yaw damper disconnect. And there you have it, friends. We are back on the ground successfully. We gave you a river visual on arrival, and hope you all enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Once again, we'll be back flying it here soon, and I appreciate you all for stopping by. See you soon.